Well, hi there, boys and girls. And, we have this little show called Creature Feature. And for once, we're actually, well, maybe twice or three times, we're actually doing a feature on creatures. And we are here with our special friend, Pam Weiss, here at the Omaha Humane Society. And Pam, why don't you tell us a little bit about this wonderful facility here that we're going to be touring?
Well, the facility was built about 16 years ago. We used to be in a smaller facility, and now we're in this one, which used to actually be a grocery store.
Really?
Giant, huge, retrofitted it and put kennels in, and now we can house up to about 800 animals at any given time.
Wowee. Now this facility, anybody can come here, correct? And you've got cats and dogs and birds and reptiles. Did I miss anything?
Bunnies, guinea pigs, critters. Every now and then we have an errant duck or goose and maybe a goat. Any pigs? There you go.
Time for Christmas. Alrighty. Now, this place, obviously, it's humongous, and as folks are going to see, how do you staff this place?
Well, we have 150 full-time employees, but the cool thing that we have here is probably in any given month we have 400 or so volunteers that cycle through. They do everything. They walk dogs, they take care of cats, they help in surgery, they help our people in our animal outfitters store, they help us with special events, they do videos and photography for us. They do everything.
Wow, now that is pretty special. So I would think that if there are any folks out there who are animal lovers, here's an opportunity for you to do something good in the community and see if you can get involved with volunteering.
You bet. We take anybody that is interested in coming. You have to be at least 17 because of insurance. But after that, we do an orientation and a training, and then we set you loose and let you cuddle cats or walk dogs or do whatever you might want to do. There's information on our website about it, and the website is nehumanesociety.org for Nebraska Humane Society.
And we will continue to run that web address right here at the bottom of the screen for you folks, so we want to keep it in your head. Log on, check it out. Now, you folks do have a Facebook page as well where folks can check out all the available friends here, right?
We do. We try to let people know who's available, who might need a little bit of extra publicity. We let you post pictures of your own animals. We give you information about, upcoming events. But the majority of what we do is try to let you know what great pets we have here, whether it's dogs, cats, critters, or somebody else like a goat or a pig.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're right here. We're in the main lobby. So we've got a pretty nice view of there's a cat alley down there. And we've got the adoption and information desk, and you've got your own animal outfitter store where folks can pick up all sorts of toys and leashes and collars and goodies here. So this is pretty fascinating.
It's, we're lucky to have such a great space, and we're lucky to have a community that supports us because we thrive on donations. And so we have a lot of folks who come in and do support us with donations, but people can support us by adopting an animal, by shopping in our store, by coming to take classes, by using some of the services that we have, like a low-cost spay-neuter center. So we've got all those services available for people that might want to pay for something, knowing that that money comes back to benefit the animals.
Now, that's awesome. Now, as far as people coming in, obviously everybody likes cash because that's what keeps the lights on.
You betcha.
But what are other things that people can bring in here?
Well, we have a low-cost, or actually we have a free pet food pantry that we provide pet food to folks who may need just a little stopgap between jobs or something like that. So we have a free pet food pantry that any donated food goes into that. We can always use towels and blankets because we don't use beds. They take too long to dry. So we use folded up blankets for cush for dogs and cats. So we can always use blankets and towels. We can use any type of washable pet toy. We can take litter pans. We can take pet things that maybe your pet gets tired of and no longer wants to play with. So we're here to take anything that you may want to donate that you think we could use, or that maybe folks that are in a bad situation might be able to use to take care of their pets.
Well, that is really nice. So, it's kind of like when we do our clothing drives and so forth. I guess we should probably have a pet drive here one day where folks can kind of clean through their garages and basements and bring some stuff in that the other critters here can use.
Absolutely.
All right, well, why don't we get started, and why don't we go visit the Cat Allie in the back there.
All right.
And we will have Nurse Lacey. She's our resident cat fan. We'll go visit some of the little friends back there.
Perfect.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Nurse Lacey, and this here is James, and this is Pam, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what goes on here in the cattery.
Well, Nurse Lacey, little James is one of the many cats who is here in the cattery available for adoption. So once an animal is assessed for adoption, and then we do spaying or neutering, microchipping, fixing all the problems that a kitty may have that comes in, they come up here to the cattery for adoption. And people can come in, check out any cat that's in here, see if they find somebody that they can't live without, and then they're able to adopt right out of this area of the shelter. Now we have this area, we have some free roaming areas, and of course we have areas in the back where cats are held during their stray period and while they're being medically taken care of.
Awesome, and how many cats can exactly fit here in this cattery?
Well, we have 50 kennels that are actual singular kennels. Then we have a couple of rooms that we can put multiple cats in. Then we have Cat Alley, which I think can fit about 15 cats, and 2 other soft rooms that can fit 3 or 4 cats depending on how big they are. And cats, it's interesting, they don't need a lot of floor space, they need a lot of vertical space.
Yeah.
So in those rooms we can put perches and cats can hang out, and we have more room for cats even though the floor space isn't all that big. But generally speaking, in the shelter, we probably on any given day have between 300 and 400 cats in the shelter. And currently, we still have 300 kittens out in foster care. Those guys will be cycling back through the months of December and January, and hopefully we'll get them all out into great new homes, take a little break, and then cat season will start again probably in April or May.
Oh, awesome.
I know, lots
That's
of
a lot of
cats,
cats
right?
and kittens that all need to be adopted.
This little guy, though, he's a youngster, though. I think that he's probably just about 3 months old. Look at him. He's just loving you. I think you need him. I think you're taking him home. I think that's it.
It's been decided. All right, and this here we have is Beatrice. Why don't you tell us a little bit what happened to Beatrice and what she's about?
Well, you know, Beatrice is one of the many cats that comes in and might have some type of medical issue. Beatrice came in with a busted leg, and we were unable to fix it. It was a very bad break. And so in order to you can splint and do some things like that in some instances, but this was not a break that was conducive to that. So our veterinarians felt the best thing for Beatrice would be to remove the leg. She's got a great quality of life. She's very healthy. She's going to be just fine. The only problem that she had was the leg. So they went ahead, I know, Muffin, and amputated it. And she will, once she's got a little bit more, her stitches are still in, once she's got a little bit more mileage underneath her, she'll be able to learn how to walk on 3 legs, and she'll do just fine. We have a lot of amputees that leave the shelter that do great later on in life. There's no social stigma to it, so instead, she's just gonna learn how to walk on 3 legs and be a great cat for somebody that's just a little more unique.
Yeah. And here we are in Cat Alley, where just these cats can come in and hang out and play. And Pam is going to tell us a little bit about this room as well.
So this is Cat Alley, a free roaming cat room where kitties can come and commune with other cats. It's a great room to come into if you want to, if you're looking for a cat at the Nebraska Humane Society that might get along with other cats, because obviously cats in this room are with other cats and don't seem to have too much problem. We put cats in here, some that just need a little bit more room to stretch. Large cats can come in here, but sometimes we put kittens in here too, just to mix it up a little bit. However, it's a great place to come and find a cat that does commune and get along well with other cats, because it's a free roaming area where you can actually touch and play with them and use laser pointers and dangly toys and enjoy them.
Do you rotate the cats out ever?
Well, Nurse Lacey, that's an excellent question. Actually, sometimes we do. If a cat comes in and is having difficulty or seems to be getting into fights, we'll get him out and note that he doesn't want to be with other cats. Otherwise, cats can stay in here a lot of times they get adopted out of here very quickly because people can play with them freely. So once they get adopted out, we may move some other guys from some of the smaller areas that need to stretch their legs, or cats coming up from the back can come in here too.
Okay, thanks.
Well, kids, I hope you had fun visiting the cat facilities here at the Omaha Humane Society. You know, they've got some great rooms in here for you to come on down and find yourself a new friend and get to know them. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do is Larry here. He's gonna take y'all into the kennel so you can meet some of his relatives and stuff. So Larry, why don't you go take care of that? Okay. I'll see you later, kids.
Wow. If I would have known it's that easy to get rid of Doc, I would have bought one of those years ago at the gas station.
Where did it go? Oh.
It's over there. Get it.
So this is my buddy Arthur. He's a good dog. So tell us a little bit more about Arthur and about these dog kennels here, my favorite part.
Well, Wolfman, we're going to try to keep you out of these kennels if we can, but we know that could be a bad thing if you end up here.
Yeah, no
Actually,
snippy.
it's not a bad thing for these dogs, though. We've got great 14-foot runs that we put all of our dogs in. This is the dog area in the kennels, in the Nebraska Humane Society, where you can come in, check out adoptable animals. If you see somebody in here that you just want to meet, you fill out a form, you get with our adoption counselors, and they'll get you in a little room. You can meet these guys, maybe take them for a walk, see if it's an animal that you can't live without, like lovely Arthur here. And then if that's the case, you can take him home.
I think we should take him home, Doc. He is a lab.
And you know what? He's actually 11 years old, so he's one of our older, more mature guys. But as you know, Wolfman, he's still got plenty of energy.
Oh yeah, we're like half the dog years or something, or yeah, carry the four.
Hey, kids. I'm here with this fine hunk of dog flesh, Benjamin. Boy, oh boy, he's a great big, nice, squishy dog that would make a good friend for just about anybody. Now, Pam, Benjamin here is a pit bull, correct?
He is a pit bull, and if you live in the city limits of Omaha, he's subject to breed-specific legislation. Those are rules that you have to follow if you have a majority bully breed dog. So, Benjamin falls into that category. So he would have to leave here wearing a muzzle, which we would supply you with when you adopt. He would need to wear the muzzle when he's out in public. He also needs to, woo, Benjamin. He's enjoying himself. Come here, buddy. He would also need to be wear a harness and need to be walked by someone who's 19 years of age. Now, he can test out of that by becoming a breed ambassador. So if he's a very well-behaved dog and can go through some obedience classes, he can test out of that. He'll wear a vest instead of a muzzle, and he'll be able to go around like any other dog.
Well, that's very nice. Now, typically, when you get a pit bull breed in here, I understand they kind of linger a little bit.
Sometimes they do because people don't want to have to comply with all of those regulations. However, these guys are wiggly and fun and sweet. Most of them have really good dog skills. Most of them are happy-go-lucky dogs, and so they make wonderful companions. And if you don't live in the city limits of Omaha, you don't have to comply with those regulations.
well, there you go. And now, when folks adopt a dog from the
Nebraska Humane Society.
The animals are chipped, correct?
They're spayed or neutered, they're microchipped, and they have all of their first shots. So he would have a microchip identification, which when you scan it, and I can show you that later, pops up with a number which is registered. So, nice view. So the dog is always identifiable. And if a dog is microchipped, then he doesn't necessarily have to wear tags. But we tell people they should always have tags on their dogs because that's the best way to get them back home. Your neighbors don't have a scanner. They may not know, but if they get him and they get his little tag, they can get him back to you and he doesn't have to come in here.
See, now that's pretty convenient. So you can come here and get a new friend and they are going to completely hook you up with everything you need. Well, I hope that Benjamin, who's showing his best side right now, is now that he's a big TV star dog like Lassie, maybe somebody will come in and give him a good home.
It reminds me of your senior picture.
RX2 34796B.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm standing here in a special room that I'm well familiar with. Well, it's kind of like my room, but it's got all this medical-y stuff that I can't afford. So, Pam, why don't you tell us, where are we at here at the Humane Society?
Well, we're in animal medical and we're in the surgical suite. So this is where the magic of no procreation happens.
That's a very interesting term, but a very necessary one.
Absolutely. Our veterinarians will do spays and neuters in this room. They'll also do biopsies of lumps and bumps. They may, if an animal has an injured eye that needs to be taken out, they will do that. If an animal has a broken leg that needs to come off, we will amputate. They do all different types of surgeries here. They've even done some femoral head osteomies, which is basically where they fix dysplasia on a dog.
Oh, I knew that.
Or they can do different things to tighten up the cruciate ligaments on a cat to make sure that the knees work properly.
I knew that too.
So we have a lot of surgeries that they'll do here to try to get an animal into the best shape possible in order for people to be able to adopt it and have a healthy animal.
That's first year med school stuff. I knew that. Now, as we saw earlier, we visited a cat that had its leg removed.
Yes.
And obviously they try to, if an animal comes in injured, they try to save the body part if they can. But
Absolutely.
sometimes it's just not going to happen, kids. So, these animals, they do manage to recover and figure out how to get around on three legs. And fortunately, there's a lot of folks out there with big hearts and some big homes that can take these guys in and give them a nice place. Now, tell us about the staff here. You've got how many in-house veterinarians?
We have 5 veterinarians that work at the Nebraska Humane Society. One of them weekly will cycle through our low-cost spay-neuter center. So all of the animals that we work on in this area are animals that are at the shelter. They're unowned animals, or the shelter owns them. If you have a dog that needs a spay or a neuter and you can't afford it, you want it lower cost, we have a low-cost spay-neuter center, and one of our vets will cycle through that. So we work for people, or we work with people that might have a feral cat colony, or work with people who may want a lower cost spay or neuter for their dog, and they do some other services at that time as well. But that's our low cost spay and neuter center, which is on the campus. And then we have 4 vets that work here throughout the week, working on the medical area or in the surgical area. So they'll do rounds, make sure everybody gets their meds, and then the surgeons do all of the work here in terms of making sure that we fix the animals that need fixing.
Now, once again, this is where the volunteers come in.
Yeah.
There's quite a big volunteer staff that helps in the medical area, correct?
They do. They can draw blood, they can chip, they can clip toenails. Once an animal, we try to only do 1 anesthesia on an animal because that's the most healthy thing that you can do. So once the animal's out, we'll spay and neuter. We might do a little bit of grooming if they need it. We might clip toenails. We'll do anything that needs to be done, clean ears, anything that might be stressful to them when they're awake. And the volunteers and the vet techs also do a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. The vets do a lot of the surgery, but there are a lot of things that our volunteers can help with too. And they also help with recovery, making sure they keep an eye on the animals as they're waking back up again, making sure that they're breathing properly, and then they get them into their kennels.
So, and these are things like, if somebody wants to volunteer their time, they will be trained on how to do all these little pre-op and post-op items, correct?
Absolutely. In fact, you saw someone learning how to put a microchip in a cat just this morning. So we have volunteers that help other volunteers, and then vet techs that help as well. So if you want to do that, we've got people that come in and help behind the scenes in medical, behind the scenes in our gift shop, dog walking, cat cuddling, you name it, you can do it here at the shelter.
So, as you can see, here at the Omaha Humane Society, there are plenty of opportunities for folks to come in here and do something good. Uh-oh.
Hey, look, Larry, it's that bed I told you could take a nap on.
Okay, cool, thanks.
All right, well, let's see. Yeah, I think we've got everything we need here, but I don't think we can show it on TV. Hi, kids. Before we leave today, I kind of wanted to touch on something that's rather important. What is in here is a chip, which I, as a doctor, highly recommend that everybody have their cat and or dog chipped, because this is very important in the event your animal gets loose and you can't find them this chip is very important for helping to bring your friend back home. So Pam, why don't you tell us how this whole process would work?
Well, actually, most veterinarians, and our vets too, can insert a microchip into an animal. It's pretty easy. It goes in just like a shot. And what you do is you grab a hold of the scruff and you stick it in and go chunk, and the microchip goes right into the animal's little fat recesses right in the back of their neck. Then it's got a readout on it. So I can show you right here with this chip, if it'll read out for me. There you go. It reads out the number, and that number is registered to your animal. So even if your dog ends up in Chicago or you're camping in Utah and your animal gets lost, the chip will read out. They call the company, get who the chip is registered to, and they can call you back here in Omaha and say, hey, we found Spot at Arches National Forest and we need to get him back to you.
See, now, it's very important to have this done, boys and girls. Now, most people, they have cats and they make sure that they're inside cats, but if the cat gets out and it's not used to being outside, it'll turn up anywhere. So it's an opportunity for animal control. They can scan it right there and then, and if they have the information, then in some cases they will return the animal to you just that day, correct?
We do a free ride home program, so they can look it up in the computer, and if your animal's registered and they call you in your home, we can return your animal without ever having to impound him here. That doesn't work for everybody because not everybody's home all day long, but if you are home, we can get your animal back to you. So it's a great way to do that. We've also had some animals that have been transported across state lines, and we'll call up the original owner and they'll say, oh my gosh, that dog's been missing for 3 years, and they'll come and get him. So it's a great way to permanently identify an animal. Even if he loses his collar or his tags, he doesn't lose the chip.
Well, that is pretty fascinating, and I can't wait to get Larry all chipped so we don't ever lose him. Then again, maybe losing him isn't such a bad idea after all. Well, boys and girls, we end our show tonight here at the final stop, I guess, for the adoption process, the adoptions and information booth. So folks come in here, they visit with the animal pals, they find somebody that they like, and then what are the final steps here for adopting a new friend?
Well, once they meet and greet and figure out that that's the animal that they want, they come to this desk where they process out. We'll get them all licensed up and ready to go. We'll see if they have any other questions. We'll give them all the information that they need if they want extra behavior help or anything like that. And then they go ahead, pay their adoption fee, and they can leave with their pet. We do like them to stop by the Animal Outfitter store if they need a collar and leash or litter pans, because we've got all of that available, so you don't have to go anywhere before you head home. You can get everything, go on home with your animal, and get them into your house.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I want to thank you, Pam, for spending time with us today and showing around this beautiful facility. I'm quite impressed, and I'm sure that all you folks out there, if you need a new friend, come on down, check them out. They got cats, and they got dogs, and they got bunnies, and they got all sorts of neat little critters. And maybe if you've got a little extra time on your hands and you don't know what to do with yourself, come on over and volunteer, because they got plenty of fun things to do, and you'll meet a lot of new friends too.
Four-legged and two.
Once again, thank you, Pam, and I appreciate you showing us around. And here's Doc Sanguinary and the Creature Feature crew signing off, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Oh, Tori! I haven't seen you in 10 years since obedience school. How you been, buddy? Whoa, you don't say? Yeah, the same thing happened to me. You got the yearbook as well? I'll have to have your paw print on mine later. Hey, why don't you say we go down to the watering hole and get a drink and catch up, huh?
We grab it, put the needle in, put the plunger down, and the microchip goes right into the fatty area behind the neck for a dog or cat. Then, that is a permanent identifier.
We do now.
Okay. That was pretty loud.
Time's the charm,
Crazy, right? Here, I know. We sit. Now.
Oh,
sit.
now he knows.